My name is Leib Marcus, Robert Marcus. My life began in Hungary, and in 1956, when there was this attempt to overthrow the Soviet domination in Hungary, we escaped. And we came here to America after a whole dramatic story. But I want to begin over there. Then on January 5th, 1957, it was a Saturday night, and after an arduous trip on a boat, on a big boat with the General S. Hahn, I still remember the name, and we came down the harbor over here where later the Verrazano Bridge was built. There was no Verrazano Bridge. And our first taste of American democracy was that it was announced on Saturday night that we can't hook into the harbor because there was a strike in America, a labor strike. It's unheard of on the communist rule to have a strike. But lo and behold, the union made a special allowance for us to dock on Monday, and we got off the boat. But from the boat, I came straight here to Bensonhurst. My mother had a brother who lived here. My mother was ill from effects of Auschwitz, and she went to the hospital, so I lived by my uncle here on Bay 28th Street, Bay 26th Street. And I just want to tell you that first moment when that boat was finally stopped rocking and we stopped throwing up after 2 weeks on a very amazing kind of trip. And we saw what I got to know as Bensonhurst, the outskirts of Bensonhurst. The Belt Parkway was only a 4-lane highway, two lanes this way and 2 lanes this way. There was no Verrazano. I never in my life saw so many headlights lit up like that. You know, it was like an amazing toy world for me. And of course, when we got into Bensonhurst, when people mention a tight-knit and caring community, we had nothing but love and chesed. Chesed is a kind of inside kindness that was showered on us. People took care to make sure we had clothing for the winter, to make sure we had kosher food. I remember when we were first sequestered in a place called Camp Kilmer to process us, the government was serving food, but there was no kosher food for the smaller Jewish segment on it. Lo and behold, right outside the gate, there was a man by the name of Mr. Adler from Brooklyn, whose children I got to know later in Chaim, Berlin, who was outside throwing over salamis and all kinds of things, you know, kosher with a big, like a megaphone, not a microphone, and so we had enough to eat, you know, for the day or two that we were there. So, and it was, I have to end here, but for now. But of course, every synagogue we went to, whether it was the Young Israel or the Shtibel, Congregation Anshe Sfard, and there was tremendous kindness and warmth. And I've been in Bensonhurst since then. I still live here.